Hey, welcome everybody. We're having a chat with a Dēp Slēpwear ambassador today. His name is Sleight. He is from my home state of Massachusetts, so I'm kind of excited to talk to him. And Evan, why don't you just introduce yourself? Let them know exactly where you're from in Massachusetts and where your baseball career is at the moment, and then we'll get into some more details.
Awesome, Glenn. First of all, thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to, talk with you and talk about the product. But as you said, I'm from Massachusetts, from Framingham. Baseball player who goes to Rutgers University. I'm currently playing in the MLB Draft League for the Trenton Thunder, and I'm looking forward to maybe continue my baseball career professionally this year. So I'm excited what lays ahead, and really just enjoying every minute of baseball as much as I can.
Wonderful. That's great. I'm so excited for you. I wish you the best of luck in the upcoming draft. Do you have any? I can't imagine, aside of the Red Sox, maybe that there is any team that you'd prefer to go to, or is it just MLB in general? It would be a thrill.
Yeah, there's really no team that yeah, there's no preference there. I'd be honored
Yeah.
for any team to take a chance on me. So we'll just have to see.
All right. Well, best of luck there. We'll be following along. So I'm always curious to know how our ambassadors, how any elite athlete got into their particular sport. How did it all happen with you?
Absolutely. So I was always a three-sport athlete growing up. I played hockey, football, baseball. So I was traveling all over to try to keep up with all these different schedules. Um, and then as I got to high school, baseball kind of stood out as the sport that I enjoyed the most. It fit my personality the best. I really liked learning about the game. I'm still learning about the game every day. And I think it's the right decision that I ended up playing baseball because I love it, and I really can't get enough of it.
Yeah, it's nice to be enjoying, as long as you're not kind of forced into it. It's nice to be enjoying it. That's wonderful. And when did you specialize? Did you say high school, or was it before?
So I committed to play baseball my freshman year at the University of Virginia. So it was around that time that I started to specialize, but I still did play football. And I was lucky enough to have coaches that wanted me to continue to play other sports because, a lot of kids these days specialize a little too early. And I think that you can get a lot out of playing other sports and working on different motor skills and developing in different areas.
100% agree. You listen to interviews with pro athletes. I was just listening to an interview with Gretzky this morning, and I remember Bobby Orr saying the same thing 100 years ago. Don't specialize too early. You are learning so many more things than you realize when you're playing other sports that you can apply to what might be your singular sport. So it's good to hear you kind of echo that. And I know when I was growing up, sleep just didn't even enter the equation. It just got in the way, really. We would be playing street hockey until all hours of the night, keeping our parents up. And now, since I came up with this idea for Dēp Slēpwear, I've learned so much more about it. And we are selling to teams whose performance coaches are seeking ways to help their athletes sleep. So if you can remember, what was your attitude towards sleep as a kid, and maybe how it applied to sports and what it is now and what may have changed it?
Absolutely. So I was a little different than you in the sense that I did value my sleep and I liked to sleep. However, that started to change when I started to travel for baseball. We'd go to Georgia, we'd go to Nashville, we'd be all over the place. And that was really the first time I started to struggle with sleep. I'd never been like, I would hit the pillow and I'd be asleep. But when I was on the road, everything changed, whether it was different sort of lighting. The bed was a little bit different. I needed some sort of uniformity at different places. And that's something I have struggled with. And as I've got older, I've realized how important sleep is, especially in baseball, because you play every day. The recovery aspect is huge. So the main reason why I got into the Dēp Slēpwear is because I was looking for a way to sleep better on the road. So I was actually at my workout facility that Exceed, and I just saw the gear. It had a nice setup. So I asked my strength coach about, what's this all about? So I took a shot on it, and I've been wearing it ever since, and it's been awesome. I've been tracking my sleep for like 6 years now, and it's the best sleep quality I've ever had. Using the Sleep Cycle app. I can sleep on buses, planes. It doesn't really matter, and that's something that's really been a challenge for me. So I just can't stress enough how much the Dēp Slēpwear has allowed me to recover better and adjust.
Yeah, well, that's obviously thrilling for me to hear. I was introduced to Sean and Shane at Exceed a couple years ago, I guess, at this point. And these guys are dialed in.
They're awesome.
And Sean in particular, he's got 3 of these. He's got 3 kids, I think. So this has really helped him. And he sleeps in it every night. Interestingly, he said he has really crazy dreams when he wears it, and he's just out. And his wife, when they had their newborn, his wife was like, "You got to get that thing, the hoodie, out of the house, because I'm the one that's up all night with the kid. I need him to help out." And so he eventually got one for his wife as well. But it's great to hear that it's working so well for people. You had mentioned travel. I just can't even imagine what it's like for, especially a baseball player, but all high-level athletes are doing travel that is really having a negative effect on them. There's an article about the NBA, and their dirty little secret was sleep deprivation. And it actually was resulting in lower testosterone counts, which is the last thing you want for an athlete. So it's good that you realized it early, and it's great that coaches are coming around to it. And instead of where years ago it may have been sleeping pills or some kind of ingestible solution, I use that word loosely. It's nice that it's nice to be coming up with a potential solution that kind of levels the playing field, no matter where you are. Like the bus, the plane, the new hotel. There's such a thing called the first night effect, where because you're in unfamiliar surroundings, that first night in those unfamiliar surroundings is not going to be a good night of sleep, more than likely. And it's going to detract from your game. And that's also the last thing you want. So when you walked into Exceed, I think it was at a time when there was a display there.
Yep.
Is that right?
Exactly. So I just got in there and I asked, I said, "Sean, what's this sleep sweatshirt you got here?" And he told me about it. I asked him a couple questions. I was a little concerned that I would be hot at night because I'm someone who I like to sleep really cold. And he assured me that, it's never been an issue for me. And he's been right. I was worried about that, and I've never been hot. It's never been an issue. The material, I don't know what it is, but it's really comfortable. It's light. I know it's like a cooling material, and the sleep mask that comes with the hood is a really comfortable material. So I just pull it over my eyes, and it's been great. So
yeah, nice. Okay, so when you first saw it, you mentioned heat. Was there any other concern, like your honest first impression when you walk in, you see this mannequin? Was it like, what the heck is that thing?
To be fair, I've been eyeing it for a couple weeks, and then I just finally asked. I was like, what's this really supposed to do? Because at the time I had been struggling. Like the previous season, I was struggling to sleep a little bit on the road, and you lose like a lot of time on planes and the bus. So I was looking for a solution to try to sleep and take like naps and try to catch up on while I traveled. And that was really what caught my eye. I like the sleep mask aspect too, because the light when you're on the bus or on the plane is just pierces right through the window, and there's not much you can do to block it. So
Yeah.
that was another thing that stood out.
Right. And what was your first night in it like?
I'm trying to remember the exact night. I remember sleeping extremely well. I was a little bit apprehensive, like I said, because I had slept the same way for so long. And then now I remember I was at my dorm because I had bought it. It was my last workout at Exceed before I went back to school in the winter. So I was like, I might as well give it a try. And I fell asleep instantly. And I remember checking my sleep score, and I had 100% sleep quality score on my Sleep Cycle app.
Holy cow.
And I'd never had that in the 6 years that I'd had the app.
Wow. That is awesome. I'm going to use that testimonial if you don't mind. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
You very rarely hear somebody achieve 100%. I'm not sure I've ever seen that. What was your highest, just out of curiosity, what was your highest?
I think it was 91 or 92.
Yeah.
So
which is good sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously you're sleeping better, have been sleeping better. How often do you use it?
I mean, I use it every night. Baseball players are superstitious, and I'm sure a lot of other athletes are too, but it's just something I bring with me. I put it in my carry-on, and I just wear it wherever. I've got a lot of questions about it from my teammates because everyone struggles. A lot of the guys struggle with the same issue. So I've told them about it. And I don't see why they won't be, getting one for themselves too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Well, we will definitely, let's give you a, I don't know if I've created it yet. But Deep Sleep Evan can be your discount code.
Awesome.
And that's DEPSLEEPEVAN. And that'll give your buds 15% off. So that'll be helpful. But yeah, talk it up on the planes, trains, and automobiles. That would certainly be helpful for us. And I'm thrilled that it's working for you. Sleep is everything, as it turns out. And I hope it is something that you can keep dialing in, even as the excitement and the stress and the pressure builds as the draft comes and thereafter. It's great to hear that you're continuing to learn about baseball too. That's going to help you in the long run. And what have you got left this year for ball?
So I got about 30 more games in the MLB Draft League, and then depending on what happens, if I get signed or drafted, I'll be playing until around October. And then if I do go back to school, fall ball will start up around the end of August or September. So either way, still got a lot of baseball left, and not going to take any games or practices for granted because, at some point it runs out for everyone. So.
Indeed. Well, it's been great getting to know your story a bit, Evan. We'll be following along. I will try to get we've got, almost 4,000 customers over the last several years that we're going to inform about this and get them excited about it. And we're trying to build a community. You are an integral part of this community now, and let's keep spreading the word. And I just really appreciate your time today, and good luck moving forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.